All right, I'm live. It's been a long time. Had hand surgery, I'm all fixed now. So the painting that we're doing is just one that I saw on the internet. So I think that if you guys like this painting, you should search it out and find one that looks a lot better. And go ahead and get one on your wall. So what we're going to do is do red, yellow, blue, black, and white, which is pretty much what I always try to stay with so that everyone can just jump on and start painting and not look for certain colors or special colors. And again, this is just for fun. This isn't like a teaching one. This is kind of like a paint party. Even though I am an artist at home and I do paint, these are I'm trying to make them fun and easy. So let's get started. So I'm going to really try to make this easy. So a hand has never been easy for me. And I don't think it's easy for a lot of people, but it isn't easy for me. So what I was kind of thinking is that what I could have you do is maybe take your hand and extend it as far as you can, just so you can kind of get the idea of where the composition and how it's going to look, because Jesus's hand is coming out, like this, that. And so it kind of, if you look at it, kind of does look like that. So just keep that in mind, just, if you're having troubles with the composition. I just came up with that. So what I'm going to do is we're going to start with our finger, our hand. And I'm going to go ahead and grab a little bit of white. So if you haven't poured your paint yet, you could pause me, I believe. Or if you're just not watching this live and you're just watching a rerun later on down the road. So here's the white. And what brush I'm using is a ratted old brush. It is just a flat that's ratted and old because I'm going to do a lot of scrumbling. So any brush will do. But yeah, I'm using a really old one, but here's some examples because I know that a lot of people aren't out shopping right now with the COVID and being locked down if you are in one of those cities or towns. So like I said, this is for fun. This is to get you out on a date on the internet with Carmen and I, huh, Carmen?
Yeah. Hi, everyone.
There's Carmen in the background. And I've been fasting today for peace. So faith. So anyway, I'm a little shaky today because I haven't ate. So bear with me. So after you do the white, we're going to go ahead and make kind of a fleshy skin color. So fleshy skin color can be made with red, blue, and yellow. All three of those with your white and black to get different tones. But right now we're going to go ahead and just use some red and some yellow. So we've got about the same amount. And then I'm going to go ahead and mix that up pretty good. And we want it to be kind of bright and kind of loud because this is just going to be our base. It kind of gives it a glowy look. So get that all mixed up. I don't know if you can really see that with my lighting. Like I said, we're not a pro. This is not professional. This is just amateur so we can have fun together. So maybe something like this. And I'm going to put mine in the center and off to the side, maybe a little up where I want mine to be this time. And I'm going to go ahead and just maybe take my thumb and take my finger and maybe do something like that. Now, I don't normally do that, but I'm doing that for you. And I made a mess. Okay, so here is my thumb. So let's go ahead and it's pointing out to the corner. So let's go ahead and make sure we take our brush and we give them a thumb. Let's go ahead and, you've done flowers with me before. Something like that. I hope you can see it. So, Today, I'm just tired. Okay, and so here's going to be your little pinky too. His little pinky, Jesus' pinky. And then his next finger. Can you see me when I'm painting this? I hope so. Carmen, how are you doing? Okay. No, it doesn't look like much, but we have plenty of time to change all of these later on. Well, let's go ahead and get that knuckle of our hand in there. So that's going to be something that looks like that. Okay. And then he's got, hey, my cat reached out and tried to get me. Nick, crush. Okay. So, and now we've got the pointer finger. The one that comes down is kind of like, gotcha. So, your hand, here's his thumb, and off from that, you're going to have a pointer finger that comes about, here's your last pinky. So let's go ahead and make that about right here. And I know it looks kind of big right now, but that's fine. We can shrink all of this. We're just getting down the basics. This is hard to do a hand, so we're going to just kind of go slow with it. Don't get frustrated. It's not easy for me right now, but we have plenty of time. So that's his pinky, and yes, it's really, really big. But we know how a finger looks, so we'll go ahead and just kind of do something like that. It's hard for me to not look straight on. So I hope I have my composition right. And then the hand, our palm, it's kind of like this in there. He's reaching out kind of like this. Let's see, kind of like that. So if you need to, kind of look at my hand while you're painting that. But you do have some things that you can fix as you're looking, like the palm. I'm just going to go ahead and clear this in, because if I do have it wrong or I have it right, this is pretty much the design, the shape. So if you just kind of like get that shape in there, it's the best way I could explain to you how to get that shape in there, at least remotely right. Okay. So then we can start dragging this down. Let me look here. It's really hard for me to paint. Okay. And a lot of this is going to be impressionistic. So it doesn't even really matter. Just make sure you get your paint flat so we can start making changes. But for the most part, I think we've got the general form down. Okay. Carmen, did you get that?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. And then I'm just going to go ahead and make my palm or the top of my hand just a little bit. There. Okay. So that's the start of our hand. So let's go ahead and work on our thumb a little bit. So let's get into our paint that we just made, and let's tip it with a little bit of more red and a tip of a little more blue, and add it to the pile that you just did. So when I'm saying that, so here's our pile we had, and I went ahead and just added a tip of blue into it and a little more red. And I'm coming up with more of a shadow color. And again, maybe we want to go maybe a little more red. Let's go a little more bolder so you can see it. But with that blue in there, we're just giving it a different tone. Okay, so can you see, Carmen, are you being able to see mine at all?
I can see.
Okay, because I'm worried about you seeing this. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just get this little part of his thumb, the shadow in there. See how that little shadow's in there? Just kind of so that you can start to see your thumb, because we know that thumb kind of goes down like that. Okay? So there we got kind of a little bit of, we can see a palm creasing a little bit right there. And then maybe at the top area, we could kind of go like that. Just sort of blend everything, because we don't want a lot of thick paint on this. And your hand, we know that our palm starts to curl. So we'll just go ahead and do something like that. Don't worry about it at this point. We're just getting started. And about right here, right there where that thumb is, let's go ahead and start getting a little bit of dark in there. Sorry, my hair is bothering my nose. I know it doesn't look right yet, but that's the way it goes. And then let's go ahead. Here's the tip of his finger. Okay. So let's go ahead and get that tip darkened up a little bit. And then where his tip of his hand is, we're going to have the shadow of the first finger that's coming out. Boom. And it's reaching out. Reaching out. And then the other finger is that. How you doing, Carmen?
Good.
Good. All right, well, we're letting that kind of sit for a minute. It looks a little weird, but we're going to start getting the black of his robe coming down, and it's not hanging, it's coming off to the side. So with doing that, I'm going to have you just dip your brush in your black and pull it out. Just grab that same brush you had and just pull some out. Right here is where we're going to go ahead in between, right about where his thumb, where his finger is, his pointer finger. We're going to go as close as you can to the tip of that. Okay. And you're going to want to go ahead and come down on the front side of it as well. And then just start pulling some of that paint down. And this is why I said not to worry too much about composition and or how you thought your hand looked in the beginning, because you start to change some things up right away when you start to notice your hand. You can see how I'm just kind of like doing a few little weird things right now. And I can almost see some of my errors, but I don't really want to fix them yet. So I was just pulling down something. Pulling down the paint just so it's not solid. So whenever you have something that you aren't sure if you're going to like or not, don't make it solid. Just pull it out like this on this painting. Seriously, just pull it out and make sure it's not a big clump. All right. So his hand, here's his robe, where it's coming out. Okay. About like this. Okay. And what's the scrumbling? All right. Now, I'm hoping this is going to work. Okay, so then it will work. We might struggle with it, but it will work. So now we're just going to clean off that brush of that paint that we have in it. Just kind of don't add any more black or anything, any more colors. We're just basically outlining his thumb with that where that color is, but try not to touch that because that's a really pretty bright color that we've got. Okay. And this painting technique that we're doing, we're going to have layers upon layers upon layers. Okay. So don't get worried if you're like, what are you doing? because we'll be fixing that. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm not adding any more paint to my brush. I'm just scrumbling above the hand where the robe is going to be going around it. And you want to be careful when you start to get close to his hand. Not that it's going to stay like that, because I don't know if my composition's right yet or not. I'm kind of thinking that it's not, but that's okay. We have plenty of time to fix it. I had no problem when I put this painting together, but today, for some reason, I am not having as good a look. See, I'm just scrumbling in some lines. That's where his robe is going to be, you know, wrapping around his hand. And so that's all that is. Kind of weird. If you try to think about it, it's harder. So just do it. Hopefully it'll all come together in the end. Now I'm just going to clean it off a little bit more because we want our painting to look good on the wall. So scrumbling, in case you can't see, is just basically taking your brush and going back and forth. And it's kind of cleaning it off. And if you're running out of paint, just get back over here, get a little more. Hopefully your paint isn't dry. If it is, you know, it's just a little bit of black with a little bit of your other colors that you've had. How you doing, Carmen?
Good.
Good. So I'm going to go ahead and take it and clean my brush off. And since this is going to be a robe, try to make it kind of like how you think a robe would go. Okay? And get that brush cleaned off. All right. So I'm going to wait. Well, let me look here. Am I ready to do this hand? Yeah, I need to actually be in front of it instead of off to the side. Okay. So here's his thumb. Let's work on his thumb. We've got a pretty good idea of the thumb area. So let's see, he's reaching down and it's coming out. And then his hand is projectiling out. Projectiling. I don't even know if that's okay to say. So white, yellow, and red. We're going to go ahead and get a skin color again. But this time, let's have it be a little bit more white. Just for a second. So his thumb is coming out. So let's get the thumb, my thumb. I'm fixing my thumb a little bit. And I want you guys just to know that you can fix your painting over and over again if yours is wrong. There is nothing easy about his hand, but we're going to get it. So here is his thumb. I'm going to go ahead and make a V that comes down. We're trying another technique for me. We're going to learn them all today. And then coming down. All right, that looks better for me. Looks a little weird though. This is really quite hard. Okay, so there's his finger. There's that again. How you doing, Carmen? Sorry. There we go. I got mine, guys. Finally. So I got mine right. See, it just sometimes you just have to keep working it, working it, working it. And then finally one time it's like, boom, got it. Gotcha. But struggle. Okay. Get rid of that thick paint in there. All right. I know it doesn't look right, but it's better for me. Just to clarify and show you, let's make that bright orange again. Again, we know it is yellow. You guys are going to be like so good about painting flesh color when we're done. Okay, so here's my thumb. Let's go ahead and make dark towards the bottom. Because the top of that, we want that light color that we just had in there to kind of be above. So see how that is like that? Do you see that, Carmen? And then this top of his knuckle.
I'm sorry, Dawn, is there red?
It's
yellow.
It's red and yellow. And then I didn't add any white to that. So, and as you layer it, don't get thick paint. If you get thick paint, it's just crazy, guys. Don't do thick paint. It's hard to get this fixed up after you've done it. So here's this part of your thumb, but we're doing impressionistic. So we're going to jump right down to this part right here. Okay, we're not really going to like show it too much. We're just going to give it a big bump right there. I hope you can see that. But don't have thick paint. And then we're just going to have his finger coming out right there with that paint again. So every time we do something, we're layering it. So it's not like we're starting over again. We're really not. With acrylic, I have found it dries and it just adds another layer. It looks really good. So there, I'm a lefty, so I'm probably in everyone's way, but I take my brush and kind of pull it this way and use this little tip. That way it kind of, for me, makes that round edge that you need for his finger coming out. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and just pull some of this down here where I think his hand or his finger would be. Again, this is impressionistic. So we're just making, see how it kind of looks like his finger? We're just making an impressionistic look. Okay. And then I'm going to add a little more red, a little more yellow because I ran out. A little more red, a little more yellow makes a bright orange. I'm not going to add any white. Now, I don't know what color of red you're using or what kind of yellow you're using. So if yours doesn't look exactly like mine, that's okay. That's what's fun. That's why I don't really like to say 50% white, 50%, 10% blue or whatever I'm doing, because when I do paint parties, I absolutely love what everyone comes up with. And a lot of theirs turns out better than my color scheme. So I try to just let them put the amount that they want to make the color that they want. And I don't always talk when I'm doing something. So I just kind of do it and mess around. And I encourage you to do that too. Hey. I have a cat right here. Huh. Whenever I'm talking, he's like, what are you doing? Okay, so I just went ahead and did something right here just to give it some color. I don't even know why, but I did. So taking that same bright color, Carmen, I'm going to go ahead and this little pinky down here, the one that's covered, Carmen. Let's see. I'm having a really hard time with my stroke today going backwards. So about right here, I'm going to lay my brush here. You watching? And I'm going to go ahead and go down. And the fun thing about impressionistic is we don't really need to have every finger looking like a finger. We just need to make an expression that it's a hand reaching out. So if you were to look at this from a distance, it's going to look like a hand reaching out. Even though if you were to come up to it, you'd be like, oh my. But this is impressionistic. You're going to love it. And we're going to go faster. But this is the hardest part. And then the rest is super fun. I promise. Okay. So got that? Now we're going to go ahead and take a little bit of blue, red. We're going to get a dark purple when we do blue and red, depending on what color you're using, though, huh? And we're going to go ahead and make his finger go. We're going to go with that first one right here. Just kind of give it some darkness right through there. And my paint is a little bit, I would say too wet. So I'm going to have to probably on mine come back to that little idea. That was a good idea for a minute. Okay. But while we've got it, let's just go here, get that dark a little bit more. In the palm, maybe right here, get that little dark. Just a little confusion. You know, whenever you add a little confusion, people think you know what you're doing. It's intentional. Okay, let's clean off our brushes, whatever color you've got on it right now. Let's go ahead and clean it up right through here, get it off. Because we want our painting, and up down here, we want our painting to all go together pretty good. And we've got white paint coming in a minute, so it's fine. Go ahead and get it into here and clean that off. And again, we're just making it look like it's his robe. It's Jesus' robe. So of course up here, we're gonna just kind of start moving it more around. So it'll look like his collar area or his shoulder area. Do you see why it didn't really matter on the brushes? Don't use one you love. Okay, how you doing? Everybody having fun? Fun? Because this is for fun. But you need one of these on your wall, huh? So it reminds you that Jesus, you know, loves you and he's there for you. Okay, now let's take white. Our brush should be pretty clean. If it's not, go ahead and clean it up. Wow, I got a lot more on mine. And go ahead and clean mine out a little bit more than I realized. Okay. Now I'm going to get into white. White for a minute. Just plain old white. No cleaning of our brushes. We're just having fun with the dirty brush today, which is not really something I do. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to do kind of like a scrumble. But I think before I go ahead and try this, is this wet? It's dry now. So maybe I will. Let's go ahead and take our white brush, or the white on our brush, and scrumble that into this area. This little section right here. Now, if this is going to go in a place of your house that, you know, you want a certain color, you can change your color scheme, you know, if you are pulling out more of a color you don't think will go with your home. Or later on, you can add just a little bit more when we start adding more color. Okay, so keep that in mind. And let's go ahead and do that up here as well. And I'm just rolling it kind of up into the top portion. But again, I'm just cleaning my brush. So we're definitely dry brushing a lot on this. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and start with here again, okay? The inside of his robe. So we're going to start out with a little bit of white, and we're going to go ahead and maybe add a little yellow, get some white. Could you see me? Was I way off there? I'm sorry. I get caught up in what I'm doing. White and yellow. So just a little bit of yellow, a little bit of white. Okay. Just a light, nice one. Can you see that, Carmen? Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and about right here where his hand is. Well, this is his whole hand. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and have that come down like this. And then right about where his thumb is, the top of his hand would be, because we're going to kind of like pretend like some of that's his hand, that it's not. You see what I'm doing? Bring that around. Got that, Carmi?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And it's funny because this is not the color scheme that I had originally done, but it's what I decided to do today. I guess I just kind of do things spontaneous. So this is the yellow, and it's coming around here. See where our little our dark lines were before. Basically, we're just adding to the robe so that it starts to look more and more like a robe, but we're just building up more and more color. Okay. And then maybe we'll go ahead and clean that brush off right up through here, just on the edge. And I'm just going up and down. You can see what I'm doing. I'm just scrumbling. I'm just ruining this brush of mine. Okay. Now, we're going to go ahead and get a little bit of white, a little bit of blue, go back to that yellow, and just make a really weird kind of green. Look. With that, we're going to go ahead and start with about right there. You see that, Carmi?
Mm-hmm.
That. And through his thumb, the robe is going to come down. And so that this painting looks really good, we're going to go ahead and take that same color and bring it over here. And yeah, I went over his fingers. It's fine to go over them and put them back in. Blend those colors. I know that I have a lot of blenders in a lot of my classes, my fun little paint parties that love to blend. So if they're following me, I know they're having fun. Now let's go ahead and get into our black. Just get some black thinly on your brush. All right. And now I want you to, I can see my mistake with my finger. It's too far. My hands are, I see what it is. These little guys have to come down more. I get you. I got it. I'm going to go ahead and cut off some of my finger. I'm back to where I was again. Don't do what I just did, guys. Where your finger is, down below here. Scrumble in some of that black, okay? Just scrumble it in. And then where we're going to start making that yellow, I want you to get into that blue we just made before. And it's not going to be super blue because now our brush is dirty. But basically what we're doing right now is we're making his robe opening. Okay. So as you see that yellow that we laid down, now that yellow is starting to just kind of naturally blend in there, huh? Okay. And then when you get towards the bottom part of it, you just try to clean that up a little bit, but don't worry about it. We're gonna do something with that. Okay. How you doing, Carmen?
I'm doing good.
Are you worried?
No, I'm just trying to look at
She's probably going, what is she doing? It's not turning out. Yeah. Okay, it is. All right, nothing easy about this painting, guys. Nothing. So look at your hand, decide what you do and you don't like. And this, when you scrumble and do stuff like this is that part of his robe, you know, where it's going to be covering his hand a little bit. You have a lot of opportunity when you're scrambling to fix your hand, fix what you're doing, blend it, make it so it's harder to look at. If you're not doing good at all, you know, the more you scrumble, the better, or blend it, the least likely you are to see the mistakes as much. You're going to see more of like the impressionistic part of it, okay? But every time we do this, we're just building up the paint. We're building up the paint. So you should be having fun because you just building it up, keep building this up. We're waiting for this to dry, and then we're going to go back to the hand again. So hopefully you're having just as much fun as me. So I am going to go ahead, and I know that the top of this hand here is impressionistic. So I'm going to go ahead and get some of my white. And I'm going to make some flesh color if I don't have any. So yellow and red. And again, blue does also make that, but now we've got some black in there, so we really don't need anything but those. So now I'm going to go with a lighter color now, of like a super light color. So the hand that we're seeing up here, it's all shaded. So that's the reason why that finger is kind of like that. It's because the hand that you're not going to see is all white and highlighted. So that would be this part, okay, up on the top. This is actually like things that are going on that you really didn't see before because it's the top of the hand. And then in through here. And my paint's still kind of wet, and I'm sure yours is too. But just know that every time you do something, you're adding to your paint. You're not making any mistakes or anything. Just keep adding it. You should see me when I do a figurative mat. I am like over and over again, and that's perfect because you just keep layering it and layering it. So you're gonna have all of these colors, and you're gonna come up with really neat colors as it dries. So it's not like you're making a mistake. You're just kind of like reinventing, finding your composition a little bit different. And I love that about acrylic. It's really easy with acrylic. So now, while we're waiting for that to dry, let's go ahead and work on his robe some more. So I don't want my brush wet. So I'm just taking mine and drying it on a paper towel. And oh, I don't know if that scared you, but I just saw myself up close. I don't like it. I cut all my hair off and it's growing out now. So we're not at a good hairdo. Not that that matters at all. Okay, so now we're just going to go with some white and get into your blue. And this time we're going to have whatever blue you have. We are going to have that straight blue. Okay. So while we're waiting for that to dry, let's go ahead. Here's our thumb. Let's go ahead and get some of that pretty blue above my thumb. Let's get a little bit of it, maybe here and through here. So as I'm doing this, I should probably explain that I'm kind of making his robe look like it's moving now. Okay. And once we put that white that finishes this is off, you're going to start seeing all of that. So this is some of his robe. So let's go ahead and make it kind of like go inside of the sleeve too. That a little bit of a highlight there and a little highlight there. Okay. And then let's just kind of blend it a little bit. And lightly, just blend it out. Have fun with it. This is fun. And then if you really end up loving it and wanting to do another one, you can do it again. If you're absolutely just as horrible, you can buy one. Okay, so now I got that blue again on mine. Gonna go up to the top through here and clean that brush off. And anything you have white, let's just go ahead and use some of that blue to thinly put it on there. Make the back of your canvas be a little bit of the white come through. And maybe right through here, not at the top of his robe, but maybe right through here. Just go ahead and scrumble. It's starting to look good, isn't it, guys? I mean, it's starting to come together. How does yours look, Carm? Yeah, it really takes a minute to, for it to start to look like it comes together, but I am always worried until that happens. Okay, so here's this over here. I'm going to go ahead and blend anything that's not dry. Because we want this to look soft on your wall, if you're going to hang it or give it to grandma. All else fails, grandma will love it. All right. Yeah, I think that's almost dry on mine, but let's go ahead and put some more white on our robe. This time, let's use straight white, okay? Go ahead and get some white on your brush. And about like right where his fingers are going to be, let's go ahead and add a little bit of bright white through there. And then get some more. Again, don't make it thick, you guys. Please don't make it thick. You'll be disappointed. And then up through this area, let's go ahead and get that. Some white on there. Be careful around his thumb. And let's go ahead and get some white right about where his robe. Okay, so his fingers, so his robe. Let's go ahead and get some white about right there. For his fingers. And then more white through this area here. It's kind of hard to paint with this easel on, get to the bottom of it. And you can see just how fun this is, you know, I'm not trying to be like super technical here. Okay, so we got to make this look like it's folding in. Of course we do, huh? So what we'll do is we will take our white, and this is our robe, but we're going to have it cut across a little bit. So let's go ahead and have it be about right there. Take some of your white and have it cut across that robe. It's kind of folding in. And I do kind of have it thick for a minute. And this is just straight white. And the reason I kind of have it thick is because it is going to be cut into it in a minute. So see, I'm outlining it a little bit, Carmen. That's why I said don't worry about it being too straight before. And we'll brush that out here in a minute. It's hard, huh, honey? This has been hard. It's hard to teach this one. It's easy to do it fast, but it is hard to teach. Okay. But now go in here and just scrumble some of your edges so it's soft. Okay. Now let's use our little brush so we can get just a little bit more detail now. So I'm going to get rid of this one, clean it off. Okay, let's find a littler brush so we have more detail. Little is always easier. Okay, so pick any brush you want, you know, whatever style you like. This one looks like it's a little beat up, so I might not use it, but we'll give it a try. I don't like to use anything too new because I know a lot of people don't have something new. Okay, now let's go ahead and we're really going to start using some lightening up now of his hand and get this picture done. So I've got some white and some red and some yellow, and this time I'm going really quite a bit lighter. Make quite a bit of that because you're going to need it some more. And this time I really got to look at what I'm doing so I can kind of get this right for us. So here's the top of the thumb. So you can see how that thumb is, Carmen.
Yeah.
And then just kind of blurring it in.
So this has a little red in it too?
Yeah, it's the skin color, honey. Okay, and then this is the top of his knuckle that's all bright and white. It's got a lot of, Jesus has a lot of, when his hand's coming down, a lot of it is impressionistic. So we want to kind of keep it that way. You know, just kind of keep it impressionistic. We don't want to go showing too much detail. I want it to really look like it's coming out of, you know, he's reaching out and it's coming out of a light, and how a light you wouldn't be able to see very well. You know, you wouldn't be able to see very well if something's lit up. So his hand right through here is going to be pretty lit up. And just keep making it as you go. We know how to mix red and pink, or make red and yellow and make a light, skinny, fleshy, pinky color. And then his hand's kind of lit up through here, too, coming into his palm. Now, I had these certain V's I was going to teach him, but when I'm painting sideways, I really can't see the V's, so I can't tell you what I'm seeing because I'm off to the side. It makes it very hard for me to paint. And then I will dyslexia now after my stroke, so a little harder time. Okay, just keep building that paint up, you guys. Just keep building it up. Looks a little weird, but I promise you, you're going to love it in the end. Now let's get the top again. It's the top of a finger. It's the top of another finger. And then the tip of another finger. Okay. It's all starting to brighten up now. Okay. Then again, the top of his hand, right through here, as his hand's reaching out, it's kind of lit up, so you really can't see it. You kind of get a lot of freeway. And just make sure you just keep layering it so it's nice and bright where we want it to be. Okay, Carmi? And just keep layering it on. Layer, layer, layer. Is everybody having fun? It's a good subject. We all need to be painting something nice. We remember to be nice to each other. We love each other, right? You know you do. We should love everybody. I keep telling Carmen that. Better love me, buddy. I have a little mouth sometimes, so you still have, you married it. I wouldn't have married me. Okay. I'm upping my thumb a little bit, just because I wanna. Where his fingers coming out on the very top now. There's the top of his hand. There's his fingers. We've got those. So now we're just going to make it an impressionistic finger. You know, that one that's coming out. So I'm going to go ahead and put it. How you doing? You having troubles? Once you start adding the dark colors, you'll probably like it better, Carmen. So now I'm going to go ahead and go with red and black. My black is almost dry, you guys. I don't normally take this long to do a class, a paint party. This is hard. So black and red makes kind of a purple, and I'm going to add a little more. So it's almost like it's a deep, deep maroon kind of color. So now we're going to make the hand look like a hand. So here's his finger. You really can't tell right now, but about right here. Put a little V. Or you can just watch me for a minute. Since you're like, I'm not trusting you anymore, man. You're going to keep doing it over and over. I don't blame you. Make the little crinkle in his hand. The underside of his thumb. Maybe I'll make the tip of the thumb a little darker up through here. I'll come back and blend that in a minute. Here is where his palm is. Well, I'm glad you guys joined me, and I hope you're having fun. It's just a really hard class, really hard painting. I had no idea that it would be this hard to teach. I might have reconsidered, but I know a few people that were really wanting me to do one of these, so here I am. Okay. So this is not, this is this is still the tip of the finger, even though you can't tell it is still. So I'm going to go ahead and redefine it for you by putting some color on there. So here is the actual tip of that finger. You giving up, Carmen?
No, not at all.
Okay.
I'm good.
All right. There's that finger, the tip of it. And then the tip of this one. And then this little one coming out that way. And then I told you I was going to come back and blend. So I'm going to go ahead and blend some of that in there again. Where's thumb is? Jesus' thumb is. Blocking it in. I know that maybe there's people that have taken art classes and stuff. It's really easy to block things in generally. So if you are doing that, you're probably having an easier time than me. Okay. You see how after you get that V in there, then you can kind of like fix it up a bit. Doesn't that look like a hand a little bit more? Got some pretty good shadows in there. Now we'll start lighting it up again. We got our shadows in there. So lighten it up again. Just use your pink. Well, not your pink, but your red and your yellow. If you're making mud, just stop for a minute and let it dry out. Okay. There's that tip of that finger. I'm going to go ahead and get that dark so you guys can see it, because I don't think you can see it in this lighting. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to that original bright color for the tip. So here is the tip of his finger, the one that's reaching out to you. Okay, and then what happens with me is that I go too big when I'm painting off to the side, and I know you can see me doing that because I did it again. Right there, see? But the good thing about this kind of paint is that it doesn't matter. We can go back in there and fix that. Are you okay, Carmen? I hear you.
It's hard.
Carmen's having a hard time. I know you guys are too. But what I want you to know is that you can walk away from this and look at it, and sometimes it's right. And you'll be like, what? Huh? And you did get it right. You just didn't know it. So that's the good news. Okay. You okay, baby? So I'm going to go ahead and okay, so like here, if you're struggling with your hand and you know that you got it wrong, it's probably because we haven't got to this part. I just realized that. So right through here where his fingers are, this is where we're going to start cutting it in. So you start cutting that in. That's his robe. That's what I wasn't doing, you guys. You don't probably are going, what? It's because I know what we're going to do. So let's go ahead and do it earlier. Carmen, does this make it you happier? So now you just start cutting out his hand and over his palm because that's coming over his palm and over his hand and not, not really, but you know what I mean. Okay, so I wanted that to be white, but I had color in mind, but that's fine because we can just wait for it to dry. But right now we're just kind of, if you need to get more white, I'm gonna have to stop and go get more white really fast because I don't think that's white, no. Okay, hey, that's starting to look good now, guys. Friends, fellow painters. Yeah, we're working it. We're getting there, guys. How long have we went? I mean, normally my paintings are really, really slow. This is an hour. I mean, we're really, really fast. Can you tell I'm tired? I say the opposite of what I mean all the time, and people that are around me know that. I had a stroke like 3 years ago, and I'm doing really, really well, but I still want to say something and say something different. So, okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get back to a different brush and get a different one. I'm just getting another one, so I don't have to wait for that one to dry, the water to dry. And I got myself some more white, but right now it's not really going to do me much good. But I really think that this color is going to look so cool, so pretty. So I'm not too worried about it. So now let's start to make the dark around the robe so that you can see where it's at. So what I'm going to do is make us a pretty purple. So go ahead and get some white, some blue, and some red, and make yourself a pretty purple or any color that you like that's a shadow color. I'm going to go with purple. Okay, you guys feeling like artists? Okay, so here is his sleeve, the front part. And then back through here, in here, it's a little bit of where it's further in, like through his arms. So we need to make it look like it's stretching out. So we're gonna go ahead and put that appearance in there by doing something just as simple as that. Okay, Carmi?
Good.
See, it's starting to come together, isn't it? And then where his thumb is and where his hand is, now we need to kind of have a little bit of that robe going over. There you're starting to see come together. And I like to keep the colors kind of around his hand, around the focal point. So then it all kind of looks like a nice little painting for your wall. I really do think that that's coming together really nice. Are you liking yours a little bit more, Carmi? So let's get his sleeve up a little bit more. What, sweetheart? You were going to say something.
Oh, my hand is kind of messed up still.
Well, you can always work on that hand a little bit later too. So here's this, kind of his sleeve coming down a little bit. And again, this is impressionistic. Isn't that nice? So go ahead and clean your pretty purple or blue. Mine ended up being more of a blue than a purple. Okay, and I'm going to use a little bit more of that same color. And I'm lightly brushing it in right now. I'm kind of dry brushing and lightly doing that. So it kind of has a different look, kind of a softer look. And going up through here, laying down some of that color up there. Are you loving it? Are you starting to see it, you guys? I hope yours is starting to look good. Now, if you don't like it, you need to walk back and look at it from a distance because this is, it's not art to be looked at like super, super close. It's impressionistic. Now we need to kind of muddy up this a little bit too. So I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and dry brush the inside of that up a little bit. Basically, I'm just kind of scrumbling. I didn't use any paint except for what was left over on my brush. Okay. And then if you want it to go exactly like the picture is, now you're going to want to go ahead and go back with the black again. It's like back and forth. And that's what is hard about acrylic. Sometimes you go back and forth and back and forth. And remember my error that I did right there. I really want to get back over there and be able to fix it. I don't know how I'm going to yet. I hope yours looks, you're doing better than me. I have to paint straight on for composition. And if I'm not straight on, then I'm always off. And so you guys can't see through me. That's why I'm not a professional painter online. That's why I probably do this free. I don't even know why people would come to my paint parties, except for I'm fun, right? Super fun, I would like to say. Right, Carmen?
Super fun.
Super fun. I don't think you would dare say that I wasn't. Right, Carmen?
No.
No, not even a little. Okay, so with that black, now we're going to go ahead and start just kind of closing in a bit. I'm going to go ahead and have like a little bit of a dark part right through here in the palm. Like maybe the, right now, I just want it to look good on my ball and I want it to be impressionistic. So I need it to kind of be dark around his hand. So that's what the focal point is like, come to me. You know, I'm here for you if you need me. And that's why I wanted to do this painting, is so that it would remind us all, and I don't know how many people went to Sunday school or whatnot, but just I loved it. And so I remember Jesus and how nice he is. And so I just thought it would be fun for you guys to have one of these to have at your own home, or you could buy the original one that somebody has out there online. I think you can just buy a print of it. I don't think it has to. I don't think it has to be quite a bit of money. So now I'm making kind of a gray with the black and white, and it's just another neutral color. You don't have to do it. This is kind of like whatever you have in your house where you're going to hang it. If you don't want to add any gray and you just want to keep it with those other tones, you can. This is where you get to kind of decide how you want to finish yours off. We are almost done. And then as far as your hand goes, I'm going to try one more thing with it. To make it stand out, and then we'll be done. Because like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect at all. Okay, and then want his robe to kind of come down through here. And again, like I said, you don't have to have it be these colors. You can make yours blue. Like if you want more of the purple, just go ahead and get like, I'm just going to throw a color in there just in case you're liking a color like that. You can add yourself a little bit of a different tone right here, like that. But the finishing part here in a minute will make your painting good. So if you don't like your painting here in a second, we can just kind of like fix it all. But we always have I always try to have a little bit of an escape in case somebody just absolutely hates their painting. Which I hope you don't. But I am going to go ahead on mine. Again, remember how I told you it was going to cut across. So now we want to go ahead and do it again. I'm going to go and take this and make you believe that that's his robe again. See? So, and then I'm going to go ahead around here and get that white. I'm going to get it super white right through there. You see me accidentally do that, but let it, if you ever accidentally touch your brush on something, you can clean it off right then and there, or you can just wait for it to dry. I can just blend it in. Okay, I'm always looking off to answer a question or something, and then boop, my brush will touch or something comes on the TV, and I'll look up and then my brush is sitting against it. It's like, no! But it happens all the time. Okay, so now I'm just kind of cleaning my brush, getting some really good white on here now. I've got a load of white on my brush, not a load, but quite a bit. Now I'm just going to start finishing this off through here by making it blend through areas in the robe. And what this is going to do is just kind of give it an overlay. And all of those colors that you did before are just going to be like different colors that are in his robe. Okay? So see how I'm just kind of blending it now and how it's all starting to just kind of come together. And all those colors underneath of there that you had are now, let's see, how do I want this? Like this. And I want it to be white down here, a little more white. On mine anyway. So all those colors that you did below, did at first, they're going to be underneath of there. They're going to be underneath of those colors and hidden, but they'll shine once it starts drying, and you'll see them in your, when you have it hanging on your wall, you're going to see those pretty colors. I cut in too deep on this one, but that's because I can't. I'm not straight on, so I might have to. Well, it still looks okay. Just give the robe a little bit more white right here. Hi, Louie. You want to see who I'm talking to? This is Lewis. He's jealous, so he's sitting here scratching my leg this whole time, making it really hard for me to focus on you guys. All right, so that's kind of how we're finishing it off. So are you liking yours? I hope you're liking it. I hope you're loving it. Are you loving yours now, Carmen?
It's getting better.
He's like, I don't know. Isn't that cool though? It'll be like a coat of many colors, but not. It'll be all white, you know, like in his white robe, but you'll have all these different colors that come out as your painting dries. So it is really, really quite neat, I think. Okay. All right, and then as this dries, you're gonna really like it. I can't tell you how much I know that I'll like mine better when it dries too. It's just amazing how, as something like this dries, it just looks so good. Okay. So the finger. This is the last time, you guys, I'm trying it. I'm gonna use a little brush, and I might have to look a little closer at it so I can actually get this right. Composition. Can't see it. Off to the side. Okay, we're doing this again. I'm going to use yellow, red, kind of red. If you look in there, it's like a mud. And then a little bit of white if you want to. Okay, here's his finger. Okay, this is his hand. Guys, we got that? Here's the tip of his finger. Your finger kind of goes like this when it goes out. I bet you guys are all thinking this is funny. I'm not finding it funny. I'm finding it embarrassing. Oh, what do you do? What do you do? What do you do? I laugh at myself. I'm all right with laughing at myself. Okay. It's like a hand to me a little bit. Got it. Getting some little dark right here. Yeah, on the tip here. We always know how that tip of the finger goes with me. Huh. Okay, I give up. Just kidding, I don't give up. I just say that. So now what I'm just doing is mixing more color for me. I'm going to go a little bit lighter, and I'm going to do a little bit of where your finger, what is that? Big cloud of paint. Outline where your finger would be. Just kind of giving it a little impressionistic like that. There's the tip of my fingers again, and then there's the right there. Some white through here. I see that I have some people hanging with me. I'm so sorry that it's taking so long. But I thank you for staying. And I'm going to add a little bit of black here just to try to get this done. Right about there. Then his finger. I really don't have much trouble normally. But anyway, here's where we're going to put the crop. We're going to put where he was hung on the cross. I used black so that you would be able to see it. Those of you that are looking. I haven't ate today. Probably should have ate. I think it looks really good from a distance, you guys. I really do. Once this dries, I'll be able to give it a little bit more of a brighter look right there. But for the most part, I think it is a good rendition of a hand reaching out. And I really, really do like it. I hope you like yours. Okay. And then our brightest white, and then we're done. So what I'm going to do now is take my color that I was using, or one of my favorite colors that you are using, anything that you're using, and now we're just going to go ahead and make it pretty wide around the tip of his finger, around this part of his hand, through here. right where his thumb's coming up, we're going to have a little bit of light right through there. We're just blocking in color now. All right, and then we need to just block in a little more. What's that noise? Did you guys hear that noise? Oh, it was the cats fighting over their food. And then the tips of his fingers. Okay. So as that dries, I will probably be working on mine a little bit. Might do it a little bit while you're here. I'm just kind of out of color, so I'm just kind of like making it work, and I'm out of red. I guess if I could just add some red, that might be good, huh? Max, me a red, babe?
No.
So is everybody having fun? Are you liking your paintings? I would love for you guys to post your, oops, I just spilled a lot of red on the floor. Post yours online so I could see how yours turned out. See if I was able to help you paint a hand, you know? Or you're like, Delana. Now this has been the hardest thing I've ever tried to teach somebody. This has just been really tough. I didn't think about how hard it would be to paint something that's easy, not easy for me, but easy to just paint really fast without thinking. But then when you have to like try to talk it through, then you start to wonder how on earth you even, you know, paint because you just do it so fast. So I appreciate you staying with me and not being too mad at me. If you're mad at me, you're not mad at me, are you? No, you're not. Okay. I think that looks good. How's that look from a distance, Carmen?
That looks good.
Looks good from a distance? Good. I personally think it looks really good. It's just like one of those things, if you want to go ahead and do more black on there, you'll have more contrast. But I was kind of not wanting to do that as much on this one. But if you did go ahead and you did want to make it like the picture, you just go ahead and go through here. I have yellow. Got yellow. You just get some black and go ahead and do something like that. Okay. And then okay. And then what you would do after this dries is then you would go ahead and just kind of blend it and work on your hand a little bit more. But I think it turned out really good for being sideways. Here is the first one I did that took me like 30 minutes to do. And then how hard it is to teach. So not too far off, but definitely takes a little longer to teach you. So I hope you guys all had fun. And if you look at it up close, it's really not all that cool looking. But then when you look at it from a distance, it really is neat. So don't be too hard on yourself. And I hope you guys had fun. And Carmen, do you want me to want to show us yours?
No.
Carmen says no. So anyway, I look forward to hearing your responses and if you guys had fun. And I think that was everybody needs to keep praying, and I hope everybody's having fun. And hi, Veronica. I'm not good at hands either. Hands are hard. Hands are just really hard. But I think from now on, I'm going to stick to what paint parties that I'm really good at that are funner. This one was fun and it was needed. And I hope everybody remembers that when you're having a hard time or things are rough, we can just pray to our Heavenly Father, and because Jesus died on the cross so that we could communicate with him. So anyway, I love you guys and I love you. So I'm glad you all came and watched me try to paint a hand of Jesus. So have a good day. Good night.
Thank you, Delana.
You're welcome.
That was fun.
Thank you. I hope you guys had fun.